Hello, welcome to the Fort Studios, the home of Allgood Asylum. I'm Mike Allgood, and this is my son, Kyle Allgood. We like to get together and listen to old-time music, this, that, and the other, but this is old bands that I played with back in the day. This was a band we called Crankshaft back in the 2000s. It was a cover band, but I always pushed them to write their own music. Now, this band had a couple, three songs of their own, and we made three more, and my inclination was to record everything. So we recorded some songs and wanted to introduce to you Crankshaft. This song is called Never.
Summer rain, you brought your thunder like a diamond gleaming in your moonshine. Bring me gently how you walk the fine line. So you pushed and pulled me through your anger. Now the tide is turning, feel the danger. Disappear for days, no guilt or remorse. Roll your eyes and snort, outrage takes its course. It's never you. Never felt unjustified. Never felt the pain inside. Never seen last passion from your rebel point of view. Never walked in on a smile. Never heard your children smile. Never heard your voice breathing, screaming, announcing. Rise from me as I grow colder. Feel my innocence rest on your shoulder. Twist the knife inside your cold cadaver. Off your hateful tongue sharp as a razor. It's never you. Never felt unjustified. Never felt the pain inside. Never seen last passion from your criminal point of view. Never walked in on a smile. Never heard your children smile. Never heard your voice breathing, screaming out to you. Never doing what you say. Never took the time to pray. Never let anybody deep inside of you. Never doing what you say. Never let love penetrate. All the while voice of reason screaming out to you.
Okay, there you have it. Crankshaft, never. Well, all you people out there that know who I am definitely know the people in that band. Mike Palmer out front, guitar player, singer extraordinaire, played in bands like Hunter and many other bands out there in the Augusta CSRA area. Mike Ivey playing bass, also played guitar on the record. Zack Johnson and Lynn Webster contributed to this also. They were two guitar players. Myself, Mike Allgood behind the drums. And we had some guest players as well, Bruce Pennington. In this particular song, we did have him play the lead break in this song. So there's a couple of things I'd like for you to listen to here, where we had some issues on the song here. Well, right here, we had a guitar part come in. Mike Palmer, every time he walked into the studio, he wanted to add him the guitar part in the song. And I'm like, do we have enough guitars already? Said, no, man, I need to get this part over here, this, that, and the other. So, in an effort not to wash out all the other guitars in the track, I started painting these guitars left and right. And you'll hear them come in and play, like right here, right at the beginning. But, we use this as an intro lead, so it worked out pretty good.
Summer rain, you brought your thunder like a diamond gleaming in your moonshine. Bring me gently how you walk the fine line. So you pushed and pulled me through your anger. Now the tide is turning, feel the danger. Disappear for days, no guilt or remorse. Roll your eyes and smoke, outrage takes its course.
Yet again here, one more guitar gets added. So we throw him on one channel with all the effects and reverb on the opposite channel. Here we go.
It's never you. Never felt unjustified. Never felt the pain inside. Never seen last passion from your rebel point of view. Never walked in on a smile. Never heard your children smile. Never heard your voice breathing, screaming, announcing.
All right, here, big screen. That took 3 tracks, both Mike Palmer and Mike Ivey doing their thing with tons of delay. Kind of scary. And then we break into the lead break, which is where Bruce Pennington came in. Now, a little story about Bruce Pennington. Like I said, he's played all over in bands all over the CSRA and everything. We called him Little Eddie Van Halen. The boy can play like a madman. But anyways, he would come to the studio, and we'd all love to listen to him play. So we just let him plug his guitar into the console, and he'd just go by himself, just ripping it up. But every now and then he wants something to play to. So I had this song queued up, and I decided, well, okay, let's play to this. So he played through the whole song, actually. I mean, from start to finish, just ripping everything. But when we got to the lead break, I told him it was a lead break, and this is kind of what happened. One more thing. First take, he had no clue I was recording the song, and he was just playing off the cuff. All right. Here.
shoulder. Feel my innocence rest on your shoulder. Twist the knife inside your cold cadaver. Off your hateful tongue sharp as a razor.
And here come more guitars from Mr. Palmer.
Never felt unjustified. Never felt the pain inside. Never seen lost passion from your criminal point of view. Never walked in on a smile. Never heard your children smile. Never heard your bosom breathing, screaming out to you. Never doing what you say. Never took the time to pray. Never let anybody deep inside of you. Never doing what you say. Never let love penetrate. All the while poison, reason, screaming out to you.
All right, well, there you go. Crankshaft, never recorded in the old Fort Studios back in the mid-2000s. Mike Palmer on guitar, Mike Ivey on bass and vocals, Mike Allgood on drums, Zack Johnson and Lynn Webster on guitars. You probably noticed some of those photographs of Lynn and Zack as well. Bruce Pennington also came in and played the lead. But we'd also like to thank our sponsors tonight, McCalkey. McCalkey is a live D&D game player. You can find him on Twitch. You can find him on YouTube. You can actually join his D&D sessions if you'd like to. And you stream live all over the world right here from the Fort Studios. That's MCALLKY at YouTube or the Twitch. Check him out. You'll love him. And thanks for watching. And you're going to hear from more from Crankshaft.
Now, I do have some more questions before we cut everything off.
Okay.
So, what year was this recorded in? Do you remember exactly?
2002, 2001, somewhere around that area, 2003.
So, is there any kind of influence that, like, any musical influence that you've had that, or that maybe inspired that this type of song that you were able to write? Or
Well, most of the songs actually came from Mike Palmer's brain, the riffs and stuff, and he kind of had vocal idea and all that kind of stuff, and he brought it in the studio, and we kind of, what we call it, demolished it. You bring it to us, we gonna tear it apart, rip it apart. Don't do this, let's do that.
yeah, I know how that feels.
So we demolished it a little bit and got it so way we liked it, and we started playing that song live a long time before we actually came in and recorded it. So we were pretty rehearsed on how the song was going to go. We just, all the other effects and the extra guitars and
Production.
and Bruce coming in and throwing the lead down on it was just, hey, Bruce, what's happening? Have a seat. Here's a guitar. Next thing you know, we got that lead break.
Now, is there anything like memorable, like how difficult was it for you? Because like you mentioned earlier, how there were certain parts where it was that you made the guitars pan left and right. Was that difficult in the studio, or
Not really. I mean, I don't have automation to do pans. I can do mutes and faders, but I can't do pans, so I have to do that manually.
Okay.
On analog mixers. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't no big deal. I knew where it was at. I knew where I wanted it to happen, and I made it happen. And certain parts, like those extra guitars, I recorded on separate tracks, so I could just leave them panned and left or right and leave it that way, and had the EQ and everything like that on and automate the mute. The only time that track came on was during that part. So I didn't have to touch it. It was already ready to go. Just unmute it, got that sound. When it was done, mute it back.
Is there anything else, memorable about recording this song, working on this song that, maybe that people listening wouldn't know?
I don't know. I mean, we did all this on 16 tracks ADAT tape machines, the VHS tape machines. I transferred it all back to the digital machine that I have now. But we had a hard time getting drum sounds, but we finally figured it out. And once we got the drum sound the way we wanted to, when I started putting all them guitars on top of it, my drum started got faded out in the back. But that also, that control room we were mixing in was kind of small and dinky and handmade and didn't really sound good. So, I could always remix this tune, but it wouldn't sound like that. That was the ideas that me and Palmer had in that room. That was what we were coming up with. And that's what we did. And we printed it that way. If I did it today, it would sound totally different. Sound more modern, wouldn't have all that effect.
And honestly, in my opinion, like listening to a whole mess of modern music, you can't replace that kind of sound.
Right. I mean, I don't know how I got it, but I got it. Most all the songs sound that way. Some are a little brighter than others, a little bit louder than others, but that was the third band I was in that we recorded. So still a learning process.
Well, anything else you want to say?
Thank you for hanging out with me, my son, and I love you.
Love you too, Pops.
All right. Come back and see us. Allgood Asylum at youtube.com and subscribe. Also, McCalkey at youtube.com and McCalkey at Twitch. Subscribe. Thank you.